All right, Anthony, could you read your book to me? You can point at the words as you go. We'll just try to keep it up and they see this box. All right, go ahead.
How to make a paper airplane, make a paper clay.
Cool. How to make a paper airplane, make a paper clay. What's a paper?
People.
Oh, a clay person, like a clay So this is two things in this book. Whoa, cool.
How to make an airplane. First get paper, then fold the paper.
Cool. And then it says 1 paper, 2. What is this stuff?
It's things what we need.
Cool. It's things I'm gonna need to make it. And you put first this, then next do this. I love the way you use these words. All right, number 2.
Next, get the corners, then twist the paper, then get the corners, twist, then put it down.
Cool. And these pictures. So once again, I see 2 pictures here. Is this the same thing? Like first, get the corners and squeeze them, and then get the corners and squeeze them down again. Okay.
Then get the down from the corners airplane, then color the airplane red, black, white.
Oh man, cool. I have to color it red, black, and white. All right. Number 4.
Now we're done from the airplane. Now we need clay to make people.
Okay, so you're switching. I like how you switched that. You're like, okay, we're done with one. Next step, we're switching.
Now get clay and roll the clay around. Get a black clay, then make a hair clay.
Okay. It's a lot of steps right there.
Now get a peach clay, then make arms, hands to make clay. Get a red clay to make a shirt.
Okay.
Get white, black, blue eye to make it. Get black clay to make shoes. Now we are done to make the peoples. Now we finish from airplane people clay.
Cool. Is that the end? Are you going to put anything on the back? You are?
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to put on the back?
Put a people on the airplane.
You're going to put the clay person. Wait, the person sits on top of the airplane? Oh, cool. So you're going to be like, and now, are you going to put any words back here or just the picture?
Picture.
Just the picture of the person on the airplane?
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I thought you were making like a clay person and an airplane, just kind of separate things. You're talking about you make the person to sit on top of the airplane. That's cool. It's a neat idea, Anthony. Okay, so that wasn't real clear to me that they were going to be together. Because the title, How to Make a Paper Airplane and Make a Clay Person, that's what your title is. I guess your picture kind of makes it clear. I just didn't pick up on that. Cool. All right, so talk to me real quick about what's this a picture of? I was confused by that.
How to make a clay and roll the clay.
Oh, so it's a picture of the guy rolling the clay. Gotcha. And what is this hanging?
This?
Yeah.
That's a light.
Because it shows me I'm inside.
Mm-hmm.
You have a light inside or outside?
Outside.
You have a light outside that hangs like that? That's cool. Like where? In your driveway or something?
It's almost close to my door.
Oh, like on the porch. Okay. So you say the light is on the porch? Can you say that?
The light is in the porch.
Cool. All right. I'm going to pause this video for a second. Okay. So, Anthony, I'm going to talk to the adults for just a second. Is that okay? Because you know what? I'm going to show this to some teachers, and then we're going to learn, what could we teach you from this book? Because you're doing so many things really well. I'm thinking about a couple of things here. The possible teaching points that I'm thinking about is that I could show you about how to do an introduction. And I could show you a book like this one, remember? Before they get into the steps of how to make a smoothie, they introduce what it is for me real quick. And you kind of do that with this little list, but you also start in with step 1. So I could show you an introduction. I could take this one and I could show you how to end the book with a conclusion. Like this book tells you the creatures to make, you remember when we read this? And then at the end, it leaves the reader with something to think about. I could do that. But what I'm thinking that I want to do is, I feel like you're doing a good job of this. I just want to make it a little bit better. And what you're doing is, I love the way you have the words very clear and very clean. And then you have this little box that has the instructions. And then you have the pictures that show the steps. I'm going to show you something. Remember this in this Clay Creatures book? You're basically doing this. You're doing 2 steps in the pictures. You do that on every page. You show first and next. So you don't only give me the sentence, you give me 2 clear pictures of what to do. That's really cool, Anthony. That's really cool. What I wanted to show you, I wanted to kind of reinforce that for you. Where is the book that had the tips in it? Do you remember that book? Was it the Butter book? Kind of. They kind of do it here. But there was a book that had tips and warnings. Do you remember that? Why is that not here? This is not the best way to go about this. Well, let me show you what I'm talking about and see if we can remember the tips and warnings. Man, I wish I could remember that book. Let's look at the Making Butter. See how hard this is to make these books? You're doing something really cool. I want to show you what this book does. When I read this, it says, add a small amount of salt to the cream. Mix the salt and the cream together. That's kind of what you did. Then put the lid on the jar. That's kind of what you did. You tell me the steps of what to do, right? Look at this last sentence. Can you read that?
Be sure the lid is on tight.
Why did they tell us that?
Because
What if the lid is loose?
the salt will spill.
Yeah, because the next step is you shake it, right? So if you put it on loose and then you shake the jar, like this kid's doing here, it's gonna fly all over the place. It's gonna make a mess. Do you remember what we called that on the anchor chart out there? This is called a. There's a word for it. The writer who wrote this book, they decided to give us like a tip or like a warning. Like, warning, if you don't put the lid on tight. Do you remember that? Okay. Well, this is something in how-to books. You have so many good steps, and I see the steps up here. I see the steps in your pictures. One thing, and I wish I could find the book. This person, they'd put like a little box here, and it would say, warning. What would be something somebody could mess up when they roll the clay or when they fold the paper airplane? Can you think when you've made a paper airplane or when you roll the clay person, what are some things that are kind of hard?
To make a
So if I get the clay and I roll the clay around, what's something that maybe somebody might struggle with when they're trying to roll the clay? What would happen if I put clay in my hand like this and then I started doing this to it instead of rolling it? Would that be okay?
No.
Or it would be better if I rolled it?
Yeah.
It's better if I rolled it than if I did this? What do you think? Which one should I do? Roll or smash it?
Roll.
Okay. So what if you put something here that said make sure and
Don't smash it.
put that? Could you put a sign out here, kind of like a little box that says, don't smash it, roll it? Could you put that? And then on this, when you put the guy on the airplane, is there anything I need to remember?
Don't put the guy and don't squish it.
Oh, because if you put him on too hard on the paper airplane, right? So could you put a little warning down here that says, be careful when you put the guy on the airplane? Those are called tips and warnings, and in how-to books they do that a lot. So could you add a couple tips or warnings for the reader so they don't smash the paper airplane and so that they do the right thing here? And I bet you can find a couple others. All right? You know what you're going to go do? All right. Awesome, Anthony. Go ahead. When you finish the pictures and get the tips and warnings in, this is going to be a cool book. You did some good work. Thanks, man.